Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome to my channel. Today's video, I want to share with you guys the books, resources, and how I organize the story of the world history for my elementary age kids. I have a son in first grade that is along for the ride, and then I have a third grade daughter, and I like to do history together as a group subject, and I like to make it into a unit study and have some read out louds, but really the key for me with history is to keep it as simple as possible. So if you guys are looking for a video that will share with you guys how you can keep history simple for elementary age kids, you came to the right place. I really don't want to go overboard and spend lots of time like with researching and getting so many books, but I wanted to have, a few in my library that I purchased through Amazon and a few books that I've already had in my homeschool library. So I will share those books with you guys, but first I am going to share how you can make it as simple as possible. So if you're looking to making history simple and fun for yourself, this is such an open and go curriculum. So I'm going to share that with you guys, and then right after, even if you want to skip in the video, I will share with you guys the resources that I'm using, which are picture books and read out louds for like elementary age kids. So I'm going to try to do this brief because I know everyone has lots of things to do, and I want to share with you guys how I'm using it. I asked you guys on my community tab on my poll if you guys wanted to see it, and a lot of you guys said yes. Also, a lot of you guys wanted to watch my homeschool update, and I do have that up. So if you're looking for, how our first month of school went, that is up for you right now. This is the only thing you really need to get into teaching history if you want to go super minimal and very simple. This is The Story of the World, Volume 2. Make sure you get the revised edition. I will try to link it down below in my Amazon link. This is the contents, and this is what a chapter looks like, so I can show you. Now, you can simply just read this to your kids in the morning basket. What I did last year and the year before that, we did audio, listened to it in the car, and that worked out for us for those 2 years. This is the third year that we're going to be using it, but now we're going into the Middle Ages. So I want to read this book out loud to them in the morning. It's been really fun. So this is like just the inside, a peek of the inside. There's some pictures in here, but the chapters are relatively small. You can read them in one sitting, or you can break them up within 2 sittings. So we do our history on Monday, and then we do our history on Wednesday. Monday we read the chapter. If we don't finish it, we'll finish it on Wednesday. Now, we do the questions in the activity book. You don't have to have the activity book to do the history. You can really just read out of this book and do your own questions at the end if you want to, or just have your kids narrate. So you can just purchase this and have it simple. I really like this part of The Story of the World because it's very open and go. It's the activity book. So when you open it up, it gives you the table of contents and all of the chapters. I have a post-it note here basically showing that I was like organizing how I wanted to do it. First quarter, chapter 3 through 11, since we did 2 in the summer, and then the third quarter I'm going to do chapter 12 through 20, and then I'm just going to do half of the book, and then next year I'm going to do the other half. So I'm going to make it really simple. Out of the 4 quarters we are going to have history, and then the other 2 quarters we're going to focus on science and geography, something like that. So we only do history right now, and we do dab with a little bit of science, but our main focus this quarter is history. I kind of like have these little tabs that highlight the chapters that I have books to read. So for instance, I just penciled in, you probably can't see, but I penciled in the book that we wanted to read. So I got the Imagination Station set, and I got 3 books in the set. This is The Attack of the Arena, so we read it along with this chapter in the summertime, just to see if I liked that approach, the read out loud. And then these are the other 2 that I got, and this is like a 2nd grade reading level, so I would definitely recommend this for your kids to read on their own. There's a few pictures, but it's a really good book. The kids really enjoy this. So we read, that book to go along with this chapter. But as you can tell, not every chapter has a read out loud, but I wanted to give some sort of like variety. Some of the chapters we just basically read the chapter from this book, and then that's all we do. We might watch a YouTube video. On YouTube, there's lots of playlists of Story of the World for each volume, and some of the parents have put like really good videos, but you have to definitely watch them before you let your kids watch them. Some of them are a little violent. We've been watching some of the YouTube playlist, and that would be something that we do on a Wednesday. So if you want to just read this on Monday, and then the next day during the week you want to watch a video or do an activity, there's like tons of like projects to do in this activity book that I would highly recommend. I am not a crafty person. I do not spend a lot of time prepping and paying for extra supplies, but there's some of them in here that I did do, and I kept it like really simple with the stuff that we had in the house, and the kids have a blast. Now, as you can see, I only have like 1, 2, 3, and 4 read out louds books for this year, which is not a lot. So I will probably go to the library for the rest of them, and as I approach different chapters, I will research and maybe go to the library and find some of the books that I want to read with my kids, do some more picture books and stuff like that. So it's not all of the books. These are just some of the little notes that I did in the summertime to get myself prepared mentally of how I was gonna actually, use the book. So here are some more books that I got on Amazon to go along with this. Castle Diary. This is for ages 9 and up. So this is talking about Tobias Burgess and his castle diary. So that's going to be really fun. They have lots of cool pictures. This will be when we discuss more in that time period. We have The Minstrel in the Tower, and this is a stepping stone reader. So your kids can read this on their own, or you can read it to them. The Viking Ships at Sunrise. I also have from the Imagination Station, The Voyage with the Vikings, and this is the 2 books that I'm trying to figure out which one I want to read for that Viking period. Also, The Sword in the Tree is a chapter book that I want to read along with some of the other read out louds. And this is what the book looks like. This is for ages 7 to 10, reading level, 2.2. And then The Night at Dawn, when we're gonna be talking about knights and samurais, we're gonna read this one. So I'm really, really excited about the read out louds. I also have a couple picture books that I thought would be good for my daughter and my son. The Medieval Feast. This is recommended by Reading Rainbow, and it's like a really beautiful picture book. I will try to link all of these down below for you guys. So this is something that I want to read to them. Also, The Making of a Knight to go along with The Night at Dawn. I want to read these together. So that's going to be this year. And this is a really, really cool book. It looks really neat. My son's going to love it. And so you can really do a lot of fun things with this chapter, I'm sure. Another book I'm going to read this year is Robin Hood and the Golden Arrow. And this is also a really nice picture book that has like colorful pictures that look pretty real. So this is a really nice book that I wanted to have in my collection in my library. As you can tell, those are the only books that I actually purchased for the chapters because I didn't want to have tons. I wanted to keep it minimal, but I also wanted to have a few in my library. I will also be sharing in a little bit the reference books that I have to go along with this that I already had in my homeschool library. So I'm going to share with you guys what I do. I use my little post-it notes when I was getting into this, trying to figure out what I wanted to read to them, some of the activities I wanted to do with them. So I'm going to go over the medieval empire with you guys because we just did that and it's fresh in my mind. So this is chapter 5. In the back here, I did a little washi tape along this edge of the chapter. So I knew that all of my activity sheets will be behind this little washi tape highlighter thing. So these are all the activities and all of the maps and everything that they give you to make copies of. It's very helpful. Tons of activities. The paper dolls that my kids have used actually not too long ago. My daughter used the paper dolls for the Byzantine, like the Emperor and the Empress. And then this is the map work answers that you'll be doing in activities. And then I also did a little washi tape for the review card. So this is a little section For the review cards, you can laminate them and everything. I'm just going to keep them in the back until I figure out what I want to do with them. Like I said, I want to keep it simple. I've seen people laminate and put them in books and like do lots of awesome things, but I really don't have the time to do it, so I'm showing you the simplest way. They have the Encyclopedia, cross-references, and then this is a good time to show you guys the reference books that I have. I have not purchased anything new, so I have Children Just Like Me. So if we're learning about a specific place or country, we can look in here and read about a kid that lives in that country, so it brings it to life. Also, another amazing resource is Amazon Prime. They have Children of the World, not Children Just Like Me, but Children of the World. And we just watched the Himalaya area and the kids that live in the Himalaya mountains in India, and that's what we were talking about this week, or last week actually, and we had such a blast watching them. We've watched a lot of the episodes, so if you're looking for something that's a good resource and it's free and you already have Prime, Children of the World is a great series to watch. We also will be using this timeline book to put some of the timeline figures in here. It just looks like that, basically. Let me show you. It looks like that. It's just a blank pages. And then here are the Bookshark timeline figures that they gave me when I got this book. And so I'm going to really use it this year a little bit more. So whenever we learn about a specific person that they're interested in, we're going to put it in here. So that will be a really good reference. The Usborne Book of Living Long Ago has great pictures of ancient civilization, the Roman Empire, all of the stuff, like how they travel, what their houses look like. This is such a good book. I also have Everything You Need to Ace for World History, the One Big Fat Notebook. So there's lots of things in here that I just like to read. My daughter likes to read some of them too. So this is the medieval India, and that is what we're learning. So it's great to have like another little reference book to read through, just to get a little refresher. And then last but not least, this is a really fun one that talks about different periods back in history, and they basically like pretend like you're going back in time to the castles. You can look inside the castles, you can look inside these houses, and this is really, really fun. So we have this as well. I think I just got that like somewhere, like I thrifted it at a library, they had it, and I was like, that is great, let's take that. So they give you, at the beginning of the chapter, the Encyclopedia cross-references, which you can use. They have a lot of Kingfisher Encyclopedia recommendations. We already have a lot of DK publishing books, so we don't buy any encyclopedias. We have enough already. They also have review questions and narration exercises, so if you want to know about what you're reading about in the book, I just read this to myself just to give myself, you know, a little bit of information about what they're going to be talking about in the book, so that's really good for me. And then my daughter loves to do the review questions. If she didn't like to do the review questions, I would just have her narrate it back to me. So this is a part of the chapter, and they talk about monks in the caves. And then this is additional reading section that they have, which I think is amazing. So you can go to your library and rent these out, go online, or you can get some of them on Amazon like I did. But I searched high and low for some fun elementary ones. I do like read out louds, so that will be incorporated. So when I do read out louds, for instance, like the Magic Treehouse, doesn't take that long, but maybe it'll lengthen our 1 week of reading the chapter into 2 weeks. So that is how I'm gonna do that. And when we have read out louds, it'll be stretched out a little bit longer. And then when we don't have read out louds, we'll just take 1 week to go through the chapter. So here's the additional reading, the corresponding literature suggestions, and then they have more here. And then this is the map work. So for instance, this is what she did, my daughter did, when it came to India. We looked at it on the globe, and then they have all of these instructions for them to like highlight things, color in the waters and the land, circle this red. It's really great. They have an answer key at the end of this book, but you really don't need it that much. And then they have art projects. Oh, I missed this. They have the coloring pages. So the coloring page was on page 23, and those were the coloring pages that I put a washi tape on in the back. So this is what my daughter colored. Projects like this with art sand. They have weave your own woolen cloth, paint the Ajanta cave frescoes like with plaster, or you know, having an activity where they're touching the fresco and showing signs of wear and tear. So those are the activities for India. Now, I am not a huge arts and crafts person, like I said, but I wanted to do something fun for the kids. So I was trying to see what would be the most creative and fun without having to, you know, purchase certain things. So this one involved plaster of Paris, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And this one was with sand, and they wanted us to color sand, and I thought it would be really beautiful, but I just didn't have a chance to get sand. So I went kind of like the easy route. I didn't have any yarn for weaving our own wool and cloth. So I will show you what I did to keep the craft project super simple. I showed the kids how to weave the way I learned how to weave when I was in elementary school. So this is the one my daughter made. You just take construction paper and then you cut it out like this. And then you take a strip and you weave it in and out. And that is what they did. So I made one for her, and this is the one she made. And it's a really fun way to do weaving with construction paper, and you don't need yarn, you don't need anything special. My son made this one, and we turned it into a lantern so you could stand it up, and we put a candle, like a, you know, electric candle in here. So that is what we did for our weaving project. We weaved with construction paper. So you do what you gotta do. If you can't do any of the additional crafts and stuff, just stick to the map work and the coloring page. This is how I organize all of the coloring pages here that I have in here. So as you can tell, I've already taken out, you know, a lot of them in here. So when I take them out, I just section them off by chapters and I put them in my 5-star binder, or you can put them in something like this. You can get a binder at Target or Amazon, like a 2-inch one, and you can put them in there. But I just have this 5-star binder that I wanted to use, and so in these folders I have their map work and their coloring pages. And so I just pretty much take out the sections for the first quarter, and that is what I do. So I take out 9 weeks worth of history, and I pull them all out and I make copies of them, and I put the copies behind here. So when my kids and I sit down, I have their coloring pages all ready for them on their clipboards. And when I file her stuff back, I haven't really designed this or anything, but this is her portfolio for the year. So I just have her math in here, and then I will put all of her history in here. So I have her math, language, history, whatever she uses, I put in her portfolio. So it's just like everything has a place. I don't have stacks and stacks of paper everywhere. It keeps things minimal. So after they're done using it in their clipboard, I actually put it in this 3-ring binder, and it's been working out really well. Story of the World is great because it has so many subjects wrapped around in it, like art, geography, history, and cultures and religions. So there's so much stuff that you're learning about all in this history curriculum that you are really touching on a lot of subjects. So whether you do this once a week or a couple times a week or maybe once a month, this is definitely a really great resource. I highly, highly recommend. Like I said, this will be our 3rd year using it, and you can make it really, really simple, or you can make it really complex depending upon where your family's at and how much of a history buff you are. If you want to get like really into it, you can make lots of amazing unit studies on it. So thank you for watching my channel. I hope this has helped you guys out. I will see you guys in my next video. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you guys join here at Mama Shmoo's Homeschool Reviews. Have a wonderful day.